Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones, and I am here to discuss the zombie apocalypse. Is it upon us? It is Halloween week, so we had to get really creepy today on a glitch in the Matrix, and boy, do we have some interesting topics to discuss today. Thank y'all so much for being here. We are going to be discussing an overturned truck where a bunch of lab monkeys escaped. And I don't know, it's a perfect combination right now with these lab monkeys that escaped. I think all of them have been caught or I'm going to say executed. Okay. Like they took them all out, by the way, except for one. And one is just enough to cause a zombie outbreak, probably. Okay. There have been movies made about this, by the way. Okay. And so we're going to discuss that along with our spacecraft that is flying near the sun. It's called 3-Eye Atlas with a bunch of reptilians on board, probably. I don't know. It's wild, y'all. This world is really crazy. And so we're going to get into all of this potentially apocalyptic information. I don't think so. I think this is all wild and crazy for me. I'm here for it, y'all. And so we're going to get into that. We do have Long Island Bigfoot Mike here in the studio with us today. And you know, he lives right down the road from Plum Island up in New York on Long Island. And I will be asking him about that today as well. And so y'all buckle up. This is going to be a wild show today, a wild rabbit hole to dive down. And so thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you to all my moderators for being here as well. Y'all are the best. Okay. Well, if y'all would like to check out my social media links, my calendar and stuff, please go over to my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. I just added another event coming up next week, and it's for teenagers, actually. So if you got a teenager that lives in the Cobb County area, Kennesaw, I'm going to be at their library next Friday night, not tomorrow night, but a week from tomorrow, and talking about cryptids and stuff. So if you got a teenager that would be interested in that, I think you probably need to sign up for it. But I will be over there speaking at their event. And then I will be at the Molina Bigfoot Festival on this next Saturday, the next day. Excuse me. So if you guys would like to meet me there, this is an all ages event. So down in Molina, Georgia, I'm speaking at 10 o'clock a.m. and also at 1 p.m. I will be giving a little presentation there on my research and on Bigfoot and the Elkins Creek Bigfoot as well. A pretty famous footprint casting came out of that area. It's called the Elkins Creek Bigfoot. So y'all come see me down there, as well as Tony Green and Angie Williamson and a bunch of our teammates will all be down there for that festival. Okay, well, let's get into our program today. Okay, your regularly scheduled programming. I'm just kidding. Oh, I try not to do programming. We're trying to think outside the box and get outside of the programming, y'all. Okay, I'm going to unlock and get rid of all the programming, actually. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so on Tuesday, a truck hauling aggressive Rhesus monkeys thought to carry multiple viruses and diseases overturned in Mississippi with at least one monkey still on the loose. The monkeys were being transported from Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it crashed on Interstate 59 on its way to a testing facility in Florida. My gosh, what could go wrong with that? And why can't they just keep their monkeys in one place? That's my question. Also, with solar activity at high levels, contaminated monkeys on the loose, and an incoming alien spacecraft hovering close to Earth, not that close, but natural and man-made disasters plaguing the earth potentially, and public unrest and outrage over government-assisted food benefits being reportedly being taken away next month. Is this the perfect recipe for complete disaster and potentially even a zombie-like apocalypse coming up? Well, on this episode today, we do have Long Island Bigfoot Mike here. We're going to get into all of these topics today. We're going to try to squeeze it all in the short amount of time we have today, and try to actually have a little fun with some of this stuff. Okay, we always do, right? We talk about some dark stuff, but it's always a good time at the end of the day. Okay, so please help me welcome to the show my good friend, Mr. Mike from Long Island Bigfoot. You can find him over on YouTube. Welcome to the show, Mike. What's up, bud?
Good afternoon. What's going on?
Happy Halloween. Happy early Halloween.
Yeah, right. Happy Halloween. I didn't even, I can't keep track of the days, but when you said that earlier, like, yeah, it's like a Halloween special almost.
It is. It is. Are you dressing up for Halloween this year?
No, not really. No, I have like a mask that I use like every year, like the same thing. I just use it every year and wear like a hoodie, but it's pretty cool. I think I put it on once here, but like that's kind of, I just carry it around just in case, like, we want to take a picture with the kids or something, like that's it. But yeah, my oldest son's gonna be an axolotl, and then I think my daughter's gonna be a fairy, and my other son, he's whatever. He's nonverbal, all that, so he's not really anything. He just kind of wears what he wants to wear.
Oh yeah, man. My son actually is on his third costume right now. I've bought him 3 costumes now, and because he starts planning early, but then he ends up changing his mind. So he is going to be a rooster guy. I don't know. He's got a rooster mask and we made him a varsity jacket with a bee on it. It's Miami Hotline. I don't know what that is, y'all. It's probably something bad. Who knows? But he's got his costumes. We went shopping yesterday.
Sounds like a Grand Theft Auto,
it's something bad.
There's characters and everything. Those like Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, whatever. Like there's a million things out there. It could be way worse. And Halloween is supposed to be fun. We did a trunk or treat event a few nights ago. That's kind of why I feel like it's over already. Like I forgot it was Halloween because we already did stuff. But they do these trunk or treat events where people like take their hatchback vehicles and turn the back into like, in essence, a giant diorama that like spits into the road too. So they're like, I don't know. It depends. I don't know. K-pop Demon Hunters is a popular one this year. So that's I don't know.
Oh man. Well, that's cool. I'm actually going to be dressing up tomorrow night, probably. I want the audience to know I do have Jimmy Payne coming on the show tomorrow night. We're going to be hearing about his experience with werewolves at Area 51 tomorrow night. It's going to be a groundbreaking, wild and crazy show tomorrow night. And hopefully James Rink will be on here with me as well. So y'all come see us. And I probably will be dressed up tomorrow night. It's a secret. You'll get to see me when you see me. Okay. But nonetheless, it's going to be a good time.
I did want to say something fast. As of about 8 o'clock, I think Eastern time this morning, a little earlier than 8, they reported that CBS reported there's three monkeys still on the loose.
3.
Yeah, and they when it went down, I forget where did it? They came from Tulane, right?
I think from New Orleans.
From the university, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were all in that laboratory, whatever, initially, whatever they were there, they were like they were labeled like PPE on the boxes and all these things, like they were too dangerous to be like interacting with humans and stuff. So that's why they were so like kept under wraps. And that's like such a limited general statement, right? Like we got to use our imagination and say like, okay, are we using our imagination to make it too much, or should we use it to really I wish we had more facts. I wish there was more to know about it, but that's just the nature of the beast. But why would they hunt down these damn monkeys so hard? Like, it's not, there's monkeys all over. I'm sure Mississippi, and I know they're in North Florida. They're all over the place.
Oh yeah. Well, these are special monkeys because they
Something
have been
wrong with 'em.
infected with viruses. Okay, and so if I can keep all these ads
Right.
from popping up on here, this is the AP.com. This is AP News. Okay, and it says on here, monkeys escape from overturned truck on Mississippi highway. This just happened yesterday. And there's one of the sweet little Rhesus monkeys right there. But these poor things have been infected with, they said, oh my gosh, can't remember what all they're infected with. Let's see. I know that the C word was one of them. Okay. And and
all
also
sorts of crap.
herpes
Yeah.
was one as well. Yeah, man, I swear to goodness, y'all. They put so many. I'm just going to take this down.
This is the shit I
There's
don't
too
buy. I'm
many
sorry,
ads.
but I don't. Yeah, I don't buy that though. Why would they say that they were infected with all these crazy? It's all the things that they labeled like that these monkeys had were all the things that people are scared of, like since
Yeah.
like the 1800s, like every like horrible. You know what I'm saying? Horrible,
Oh, yeah.
horrible thing. And I mean,
The herpes
COVID's one,
monkeys are
and
coming.
then and then. I don't even want to say them all because you know what I mean. It's just, but yeah, it's wild.
It's wild. I mean, I don't know. I'm just reporting on what we've been reading here. Okay, and instead of saying exactly what the viruses and stuff were, I mean, it is some of the worst stuff, and I can't even imagine those poor monkeys. Okay, first of all, but what on earth are they doing? I mean, it just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Driving them in a truck from, Louisiana all the
Well,
way to Florida. Like,
it is rare. It is rare that this stuff
yeah,
happens, and we talk about this all the time. It just so happens to be the times when they get caught doing something that there has to be reports on it, and everything that we're getting right now is from media, right? From just news. They don't know anything. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know nothing. And you brought up Plum Island earlier. Think about how many times ships come and go from that place that nobody ever, you know what I mean? You'll never lay eyes on anything that happens there, So,
yeah. Here's a picture of Plum Island. I was going to ask you about Plum Island, actually, for sure. That this is and I did want to mention this comment from Gerald. Hey, Gerald. He says, our daughter was dating a guy who was a federal contractor who worked for the Animal Medical Transportation Company.
wow, that's
Yeah, so
interesting.
you gotta be licensed to do all that. But I mean, I guess you can't help it if there's bad drivers on the road and you have a wreck.
Yeah,
But my
anything
goodness,
happens. Yeah, things happen.
I don't know. I think with monkeys that have all those viruses and stuff, I mean, you'd think that. I mean, I don't know. I thought there'd be like extra precaution with that, where they couldn't just roll out of the back of the truck if
Well,
they had
yeah,
a wreck.
I mean, I'm sure there were. I don't know. I don't know. There should be like a lead vehicle and a tail vehicle at least, like for stuff like this. But I don't know. Accidents happen. You know what I mean? That's just it's the nature of the beast. But
Accidents happen, and then you have these guys show up. Okay, and this actually reminds me. So this is from a 1995 movie called Outbreak. Okay, and Outbreak was a really interesting movie. Here we go. Look of course we've had several monkey escapes, laboratory monkey escapes over the past several years. Okay, there's actually one in South Carolina about a year or two ago as well. I mean, these are not as uncommon as you think.
what were you
So,
gonna say about Plum Island?
oh yeah, Plum Island. I was just going to ask you about Plum Island. I guess we'll get to it. I was kind of going to tie it into these monkeys and like what's going on and the
Sure.
experiments they do on them and how it affects our everyday lives. And of course, this is a scene from that movie Outbreak, and it really reminded me of that Tater Invader. Mike, do you know what I'm talking about? The Peruvian meteorite alien.
Oh yeah, that I remember. Yes.
Yes, and the one legitimate picture that finally came forward that people thought was legitimate, which I think that all might have been a big old hoax. Okay, but
Was that the one with the kid in the backyard?
Yeah, it was a meteor
And
fill, and
the cops had a.
no, that's different. This is out of Peru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there was a guy, we followed the entire, I did a couple of shows where we were talking about it. And it looked like a meteor fell, and then it looked like a fungus was growing out of the meteorite.
Oh,
And then it
oh,
became like
yeah.
this venom looking character. And then it
Yes.
went into the water, in the local water supply. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But
I
those
think
guys.
we did a whole show on that. Actually, I think
Yes.
I think we did a whole show on that. Actually, I have a Venom shirt on underneath the.
We do, yes. Well, I do believe that was probably a hoax. Okay, and but we did look into it pretty well. But this is something that a lot of movies and TV shows. This is from the movie as well. These are just some of the posters, and well, this is actually something different. But talking about zombies today, and for decades now. Even since the 1950s, there have been shows about zombies, Mike. Zombies, the undead, the walking dead, the undead. You know, this is a big thing. And it just seems like we're getting I'm not saying those monkeys are going to cause a zombie apocalypse, okay, getting let out. But if you're looking at it as like maybe reality is scripted in some kind of a way, this is just a thought. I'm not saying this is real. But if reality were to be scripted in some kind of a way, this is like a movie, kind of.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's there's too much of it. Like, there's too much of the same similar storyline for it just to be, you know, BS, for lack of better words, I guess. And I don't think it's necessarily going to be like we can describe how the zombies. I think it's going to be like a zombie type thing if it does happen. There can be an outbreak at any given time that does affect the human race. I mean, we just don't know. We walk around acting like we're like king shit, but we dabble in too many things that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say, but it's just, I don't know. Humanity comes so damn close to like ending itself over and over again.
Or at least that's what we're told. Okay, so
yeah,
I don't know. The more we dig into these things, the more I'm seeing a pattern. Okay, another pattern. But then I bring people on like my buddy Doc Ram, who's like, it's all about to collapse, and we got a grid down situation coming within the next 2 months. He said. Actually, he said within about 2 weeks is what he told me. But it's been about 2 weeks. It hadn't happened yet. Okay, but nonetheless, you know, we're only bringing this up today to bring awareness to all this and like what could be. Okay, what honestly, some people are predicting.
Yeah, honestly, to me, it's a little like I think it would be kind of fun. like I know it sounds kind of stupid, right? But like I kind of get off like on that kind of adrenaline, like when I see The Walking Dead, and this is what really intrigues people in the first place about these things is like it even though it's kind of like a stupid concept, right? Like, oh, like it's the same thing, but it's pretty damn intense because they're always in a situation of survival mode. And, you know, I was good at that. There was a lot of people in the military, like, when we got overseas, and, like, I would look at them and be like, you're done. Like, you're done. If some shit pops off, you're done. And, like, you know, and unfortunately, like, there's just people who were built for that shit, who were quick thinking on their feet, like smart, would move, whatever you want to say. They just had all the stuff put together for survival. And then there was other people who you're like, man, like you are just a walking calamity. You know, and then there's in between, right? But
some people have zero survival instincts. That is
right. Like
certain.
I think I would thrive in a zombie apocalypse. Like personally, who knows? I might die in the first minute, but I think it would be more exciting than 9 to 5s in traffic, you know. Yeah. I don't know, but
I know. Well, it's shown to us in TV shows like The Walking Dead And
Sure.
others,
Yeah.
it is definitely a survivalist situation. And I mean, for some people, that's exciting to think about that.
Yeah.
For others, it is terrifying. And I mean, I can't deny that I think that I would be okay in that situation. I think I would. Because a lot of us have been kind of, not that we've been expecting that to ever happen, but we've been preparing in case it ever did. That
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And so, yes, that's why I've always encouraged the audience, you guys, to go get your toilet paper. Or I'm kidding, y'all, about the toilet paper, but just stock up on some stuff, just in case something were to happen, because it may not be a literal zombie apocalypse that happens, even though the CDC claims that we might have one, jokingly. But it could be where we run out of, there's some kind of disaster, you know what I mean? And people are going to be fighting for resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where shit gets real. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That, the last thing was just a little taste, just a little taste of what a real, like, apocalyptic thing would be. Like, I mean, you gotta realize, like, we're tied to so many things in a lazy fashion, medications, doctors, food stores, electricity, everything goes away. Everything goes away. How do you survive? Like, and then these things all come into play, right? Like, I mean, there's so many scenarios that just really, I don't know. It just amazes me. It's interesting to think about. I don't know. I like to go down that rabbit hole sometimes, and just think about it, But it's, I don't know. That's, yeah.
I'm kind of giggling because this is comment right here. Corey, I don't know about you, buddy. You're funny, and this may be true. I don't know. He said you can make booze with toilet paper. That's why everybody was buying it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Corey, have you served some prison time? I'm just gonna say that's how you. I'm just kidding, y'all. That is just that is wild. Maybe you can, but I don't know.
They do make pooch in the toilet usually, but I mean that's.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, well, you got to make it somewhere, and that's.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry.
That's so funny.
Whatever. We won't dive into hooch, but anyway.
Yes, we won't dive into that one today. That's another rabbit hole. Thank you, Corey. But hey, I'm always looking for, interesting MacGyver methods of doing things, and that's, I don't know. I'll look into that one, but I don't really want to. That one, but oh, okay. So I've got some information about these monkeys and stuff that they fell out of the back of this truck, and I just have some police, like the local sheriff's department did. Well, this is the update. Let me pull the original one up. So,
right.
Well, I guess they're both updates, y'all. Sorry. This is all but one of the escape monkeys have been destroyed. We have been in contact with Animal Disposal Company, and to help handle the situation, Mississippi Wildlife and Fisheries is also on site with our local law enforcement, and they are continuing to look for the one monkey that is still on the loose. And they're talking about that on 10/28/25, which was yesterday, as of today, a wreck occurred on I-58. I can't see because my eyes are bad. Near mile marker. Well, 59. That's it. Near mile marker 117, there was a truck carrying rhesus monkeys from Tulane University. The monkeys are approximately 40 pounds. They are aggressive to humans, and they require PPE to handle. They carry hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID. Oh man, what could possibly go wrong? And they were actually instructed to eliminate the monkeys when they found them, unfortunately.
So that's that. They said later on Facebook, the sheriff's department said later on Facebook that 3 monkeys are still on the loose.
Wow, man.
Oh wait.
Well, nonetheless.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, they were able to get them, and you probably have the right report. Never mind.
Man, I tell you what. Yeah, here's a picture of, in case anybody has not heard about this yet, this is what the truck looked like. It must have flipped over. I don't know.
If you Google Mississippi right now, this is what pops up. Not the Mississippi River, not Jackson, you know what I'm saying? It's monkeys.
Yes. Infected with the worst of the worst. Okay. And so, yes, it's on the road. Just think about it. You're just driving down the interstate, and all of a sudden you get hit by a truck, and all these monkeys with all these viruses jump out. what do you do? Okay, these are the kind of things, like, I'm not saying that we need to expect this to happen to us, but think about what would you do in that case?
I don't know. I don't. People are too playful. You know,
Mhm.
and this blows my mind about when people talk about Sasquatch and stuff and like or dogman. Oh, why didn't you go towards it? Or blah 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 blah. If you even saw a rhesus monkey from 50 yards, 50 feet, 20 feet, are you gonna go towards it? I don't think so. They will rip your fingers off. Like they're intense, or they can be, right?
Yeah.
And they just have this strength, and it comes from their environment. All they do is grip trees, swing from trees. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what they do all day. So your finger is, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's almost like bodybuilders, right? Like they're jacked to all hell for a reason. Like it's muscle memory. So I mean, uh, a truck full of them just popping out of nowhere, unexpected. I'm not gonna. Yeah, that I'd freak out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you lived in that area. This is part of disaster preparedness. And for my hunt club members, about a month ago, I put out, or 2 months ago, I put a video out called Disaster Prep 101. I named it after my good friend Paul Purcell. He wrote a book called Disaster Prep 101. If you can, I don't know if it's still published. You can still find it online, but I think he worked with Homeland Security. He was a good friend of mine. And so if you guys get a chance, look his book up, Paul Purcell, Disaster Prep 101. He has Uh-oh, did I freeze up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
All right, I don't know if I'm frozen, y'all.
No, we can hear you a little bit now.
You can? Okay, sorry. Wow, we are having storms here today, and my internet is kind of bad. So sorry about that. I froze.
We had some high winds
Stormy there.
yesterday.
Oh yeah. Well, we're having that as well, and yeah, maybe let me take some precautions here to get the internet working again. Okay, so but if you can get a book, like a hard copy book, it's always Dan said I would set a 20 and back. Probably. I went through a portal and I'm back. But anyways, if you can get your hands on some kind of disaster preparedness literature, some kind of book, a manual, it's good for us to have that kind of stuff. Okay, it's good to have it, just in case of an emergency.
It really is, though. No, like this is a real serious like thing. Like, and here's where I was talking about earlier, like how I kind of thrived. Like after some of the guys, like we got back from Afghanistan, a lot of us got out. Like a lot of us, like me and my boys, like the guys I was tight with, like I mean, we got out out of the military completely, and some of these guys had a lot more time in than I did. But we started hearing things and this and that, so we ended up getting out. None of the things really went down, but it just was it was very sketchy. Like it was borderline could have happened, right? So we all came up with these plans, so to speak, right? Of if something happened if things came from this direction, if things came from that direction, if something happens from all around, like what do we do? Where do we go? How do we proceed? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like little preparedness, like especially like a book like that, like know how to do things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, know how to do even basic shit, right? Like some people don't know how to change a tire. Some people don't know how to transplant a friggin' tomato plant. You know what I mean? Like just you got like the more you know, the better. Like and those types of books are. I hate to bring up Walking Dead again, right? But at the end of Walking Dead, what is the most powerful thing that they had for sale was a woman had a book of medieval times, like how to build a water mill and a windmill, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like she had like blueprints for that kind of stuff. Where you know what I'm saying, it was like yeah, you're going backwards in time, right? But I don't know if I'm making sense.
You're making total sense. You know, and here's the beautiful thing about being a field researcher is like we're already prepared with the whole camping stuff. Like we've got all of our
Right.
camping gear. We can
Yeah.
live off grid because we go out in the woods and do it for short periods of time. But are we ready for a longer extended period up to like months or even
Well,
years?
yeah. If you ever look at those shows, like there's shows called like Alone, and these people who are like super, super prepared for survival readiness, and then they go out and they go out in these places where they get dropped off, and they even struggle. You know what I'm saying? And that's for short periods of time. Maybe it's like 3 months will be the max or something like that, 90 days or whatever it is. And there's just certain situations like that that become really, really, really hard to survive. And I mean, I've been in them where, like it's pouring rain for 3 days, right? Okay, that's no big deal, right? A hurricane or whatever, a lightweight hurricane, no big deal when you have a house. When you're in a tent or whatever, or just, in these situations where you need fire to survive, or, sunlight doesn't exist for 3 days, like all these things happen. Like it's really awesome. Like, I always enjoyed these like types of conversations, and my team up in the Adirondacks does this a lot. They sit down with people and talk safety and preparedness and things to that effect, because there's not a summer that goes by, spring that goes by that we don't hear about multiple deaths in the Adirondacks and the Catskills, right? Because of people that aren't prepared for what the hike they're doing, right, or the camping they're doing, or whatever the case may be, right? And this goes down everywhere. How many state parks or county parks or whatever do you hear about this in? Like somebody disappears.
Oh yeah, I talk about it all the time.
I know. Yeah,
I do. And you know what? And here's the thing too. Whenever there's like if there's a disaster somewhere, let's say, Delilah says, so from Atlas to this now. So 3i Atlas, we had that. That's on a lot of people's minds right now, and there have been some more updates to that, by the way, and it's looking like it is it looks like it's man-made or alien-made. Okay, and it's getting more out in the news about that now, and so people are freaking out. The normies are definitely freaking out about it. Okay, but I say don't worry about it. There's always been spacecraft up in the sky. Okay,
right. Yeah,
spacecrafts are up in outer space. Okay,
that's the one they're pointing at, right? Exactly. Yeah, like that's the one that you got to be careful about what they're showing you. When they're showing you something to look at, you always have to be careful, because you got to look at what's behind the curtain, if you know what I mean. Like, I think I said it last time, like, it's like a watch the birdie situation. Like it's like, look at this shiny shit over here, right? And then that's when the dark shit's happening over here that you should be looking at.
Right. That's how it's been for a long time. It's
an easy bait and switch tactic, right? Like, it's very simple.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Am I freezing up, y'all? I am so sorry. My internet is just absolutely bad today. That really sucks, y'all. I'm very sorry. It is beyond my control, unfortunately.
It's not that bad.
Okay. So we got the monkeys that have escaped. They're all accounted for except for one. That's enough for a small disaster. Okay, it is. But should we worry about it? I mean, the other monkeys came and went without too much of a big deal, right? When the ones that escaped out of the South Carolina lab, okay, and so hopefully there's nothing to worry about with that. But we've also got the 3i Atlas. People are really upset about 3i Atlas stuff. A lot of people are. I'm not too upset about it. It is what it is. We cover reptilians enough here in the underground systems and stuff to know that this stuff is already around us. Okay, so I'm not too worried about that. But when it comes to let's just get into the zombie stuff. Okay. I don't know. Like we were saying, there's a whole and thank you. Let's see. I'm trying to see your name. I can't say your name, but thank you so much. In Poland, they know the drill. They bury fermented food. And you're from Norway. Thank you so much for that comment. I do appreciate that, by the way. Yes, it's good to know how to store your foods as well. And to can food and all that. I mean, there may come a time where we have to actually go back to the old days, like our grandparents used to do, with their cellars full of. And it's actually a good thing to do right now if you can, to like can fruits and vegetables and even eat
Yeah,
meats and stuff.
I always have a shitload of canned. Like, I mean, I'm not as crazy as I used to be, where I did that, like jarred my own food and stuff, like kept it in vinegars and stuff, whatever. Like, I don't do it as much as I used to, but absolutely, you should have whatever makes you feel okay. Like, I do a week or two supply of food, right? Like canned food that lasts a couple years, whatever the case may be, and then cycle it, and do that with all things. You know what I'm saying? Medications, all your basic stuff, like all your basic stuff that you take for granted, like a Tylenol pill, or whatever the case may be. Tape, duct tape, crap, stuff like that. Always rotate those basic things, and whatever may be important to you, right? Like, it's anybody who goes into the on a hike or a camping trip, whatever. Like, everybody's survival pack has different stuff in it based off of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Mhm.
some of the main things are the same, but there's a couple of items that each individual interchanges due to what they feel they may need. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Whether
yeah.
that's a hatchet or a pair of scissors or a fishing line or whatever. It
Mhm.
just
Yeah, Dr. Ram, who was on the show last week, he was stressing the importance of bartering and like that, how that's going to be a big thing in the future, and we need to start kind of getting ready for that in case we need to do that and learning how to do it. And if you want to learn some of this farmsteading and how to can and stuff, go over to Mark Green's channel with his wife Rebecca. Hey, Mark, thank you for being here. Go to their YouTube channel is called Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead Life. Okay. And so if you guys want to go over to their channel and other homesteading and farmsteading channels as well, that's a great place to go learn. And they're good people. Okay. And it's good to be around good people and to hear what they have to say about life in general. Okay.
yeah,
But
they get a bad rep, just like the Bigfoot community does. Like, like that we're out there and stuff, but really it's you're prepared. You're prepared. It's better to be over prepared than to be under. You know.
yeah, you know what I really like about Mark and Rebecca's channel too is that they combine the cryptids and the Bigfoot, the dogman stuff,
Oh,
and
that's
all their
cool.
encounters with the farmsteading as well. I
That's
love
cool.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, that is cool.
yeah, because a lot of people will have Bigfoots on their farms. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a good combo. Okay, but but nonetheless, okay, being a military veteran, Mike, what would you do? What would be the first thing you did in the case of a real zombie breakout?
Oh well, there's like that would, I guess, depend on, I guess, where it began, where it starts at. So here's where the readiness comes into play. Like, we have it set up, like me and my guys, like we have it set up where our families will all go in a certain direction depending on where an outbreak starts, right? So if it starts, whatever, let's say, I don't know, in Ohio, and it starts moving east, right? Now, or whatever, it starts going outward from there. Okay, that's not so bad, right? Because it started in the middle. Now, if it starts from New York, that's a different situation because I'm on one side of it. I'm on the outskirts of the city, and I'm isolated from a situation, and we have a small. So now I'm isolated. So boats are always important. Boats are important.
Oh yeah, because zombies can't swim, right?
Homesteads are important. Like spots where you have animals, farms, shit like that. Yeah, well, if we're talking about zombies, right? You want to talk about high walls, you want to talk about water boats, shit like that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just thinking outbreaks in general, but you want to have places where you can go. Like, and I'm not going to give up my locations or whatever, but we have a few where I don't know. It would have to be a perfect storm for it to work out, where we can get to those locations, but they're there and they're set up. And if it doesn't work out, we'll have to obviously think on our feet or whatever. Maybe we'll never be able to get to each other, and we'll have to work off the cuff with ourselves or the people around us or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I don't. I don't think we're ever gonna see anything like that. I really don't. Not as far as like zombies, but there should. You never know. You just don't know what can happen. You know, just the stuff
We
just a few years ago could have went left in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways.
Oh yeah, the
Lot.
toilet paper shortage, the toilet paper hoarding incident of 2020.
I don't know. I didn't
Was that when
say.
that happened? Seems like a lifetime ago.
I moved to the mountains like that year, so I missed a lot of the chaos of like people. You know what I mean? It was the one time I wasn't really around people like a lot, so I don't really know necessarily. But I was out every day for the most part, like
Mhm.
for every day. I loved it. I loved it. Nothing about my life changed.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I just
Yeah. I know. I feel you. I feel you on that. I did have a good supply of stuff. Like I had been, in that case when that did happen, and we were kind of stuck at home, and I was going through some personal life changes as well as far as my family unit went and stuff. So my
yeah.
son and I were at our home by ourselves, and I had been putting freezers. It really helped that my son's best friend's parents were good friends of mine. They had a big farm down the
Yeah.
road from our house, and I had been buying like quarters of cows and half pigs and all that kind
Deep
of stuff. And
yeah.
so I had it all in the chest freezer downstairs in the garage.
Deep
So
freezers are
I had
yeah.
food. I had food. I
Yeah.
never went hungry. We never had to
Yeah.
leave the house.
Deep freezers are an important investment, 100%. Very, very, very important investment. I mean, you can never have. I don't know. You know, it's a good. Yeah, that's really good.
It is important. It's good to have those. And if the power goes out, which the power will go out, generators are good too. But in a zombie apocalypse, you don't want that noise
Let me tell
of the
you,
generator at your house.
there was an ice storm in the in the Catskills when I lived there. An ice storm, and it froze everything. There was 6 inches to a foot of ice on everything, every wire, every tree. Everything was coming down. It took over a week to get power back anywhere. I could barely get. I had a avalanche at the time. I was driving over trees, driving all sorts of shit with all my kids in the car. It was insanity, insane. Trying to find a way out. There's no power, no. Your cell phones are dead. You can't join them. You can't call them. You can't even the hotels. The power's out. Everything like nobody had power. Nobody had anything, and it was like so. Unless you had a generator, you were screwed. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know anybody. I hadn't been there long, so I didn't know anybody. So and you couldn't really leave. You couldn't really get out of town because there was trees down. I mean, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very similar to Hurricane Sandy here on Long Island. When Superstorm Sandy hit here, that was the worst situation I've been in. But anyway, point is, I got a generator after that. I haven't needed it yet. Sometimes I look at it when I'm broke as shit, and I'm like, I should sell this thing, but I don't.
Don't sell it. Yeah. Don't sell it because that would be like one of the best things ever when you need it. Okay.
Well, you don't need one that's like I think I paid like $1,000 for mine, and that's why like it bothers me to this day because I look at it still in the box, kind of, you know what I mean? But yeah, like if you can power your fridge and a couple of lights and a heater or whatever the case may be, the time of year, it's important. It's important shit, like you know.
Oh yeah, it is important. And I did want to mention this too because a lot of people have always said, "Well, I'll just go off into the mountains and escape with my family, go live in the woods." Well, here's the thing: in case of an emergency, we see what's been happening at our national parks and our state parks. When the government shuts down, they close the roads down and lock the gates. So
It's
it
really
may be
not
completely
easy, yeah.
impossible. It's really not it may not be an option to go off into any kind of national parks or woods like that. And a lot of the places where people would think they could go escape to, they're going to get locked out of.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's a million ways to get in and out, but yeah, as far as vehicles go, yeah, you're not gonna just be able to go in and out. Sure, like that's not happening. And I don't think you've watched it yet. I brought this up to you a ways back, but
Okay.
It's a show. It's a show on Netflix. It's called Untamed. I could not remember. I couldn't remember the name of it last time, but I went back and found it. It's called Untamed, and it's based on this guy who works with the Yosemite, I think, the Yosemite like park police, but he's like the secret agent, like the almost like fish and wildlife guy, whatever. But like it's a different letter agency. I don't know what it's called, but he comes in on certain things like to investigate. So you see that these like park police just want to like write off like something like, yeah, like they fell off the cliff or they suicide, whatever. They just want to write it off and be done with it. But this guy goes deeper and like really investigates, and it starts to unfold a lot of things, including like a soft disclosure of feral people, if you will, right? And they're people who live off grid completely within the park. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And but because they're in the park, they kind of have to deal with, you know what I'm saying? But it's soft disclosure on feral people. They don't look so bad. They don't, you know what I mean? They're a little more organized, but it's a really good show. You should check it out. It's a really good show.
I will check it out. I'm pretty fascinated by the feral people aspect, and in my opinion, I think there's different types of. When I think of a feral person, I think of someone who just not just someone who lives off the land and is like civilized. I think of people that are like living in caves and like, you know, the hills have eyes. That's what I think of when I think of a feral person. Yeah.
Right, which is why I'm kind of putting air quotes because they're not really. They're more off grid. Like
off grid is a little different.
Yeah, but you see the way that they operate outside of the realm of the rest of the world. They operate outside of the police, outside of the eyes of anybody. You know what I mean? And it's really, it's cool. Like I like it. I like the way they did it. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, there are off-grid livers. Livers is what I said.
Livers.
Off-grid people in the national parks, and yes, through a FOIA request, I did find out through a friend. I know, and thank you, Terry. Terry, that's so sweet of you. Tales from the Sonic Voyage. I'll go over there and subscribe. He puts out great music over there, and this is my friend Terry. He said, He said for the freezer fun. Well, thank you, Terry. I was just telling my son. We came across a camouflage chest freezer and a camouflage refrigerator at Walmart. And I've been wanting to buy both of them. Okay, so I will put that towards a fund. Thank you. I'll go for the chest freezer first. Thank you, Terry. But through a FOIA request, we did find out that there are off-grid, they call them religious cults, out in some of the forests, out in like the national forest in Alabama, as a matter of fact.
They're in your everyday towns. Woodstock is one of them. There's times when there's meetings on these certain mountains and shit, like in these certain places. I mean, and you can't go out there when they're doing their shit. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't know that they're there, but like if you bump into them, it's not a good look. And a lot of people don't follow me. Like, I've done too many videos I don't expect anybody to follow everything I've done and everything, you know, every day I've been out. But there was a time where I was using a UV flashlight, heavy duty UV flashlight, and I was you know, just whatever, like looking for different things and seeing if maybe footprints would illuminate, whatever. I end up finding on the trees, there was like a cult meeting out there somewhere, and they were marking the trees with like highlighter or something, right? They were marking the trees to follow so that the people would know how to get out there. Mind you, I don't have an end result of what happened out there. Maybe they were meeting to flip pancakes and maybe they were killing cats. I don't know. I didn't go all the way, but I'm just saying, be careful, right? So there's flashlights that you can buy that are like multi-purpose that run red, blue, and white, whatever. Use those because the blue, I think, will show up almost the same as UV light. Will show you the same effects. So, but just be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Like, and that's why I always say, and that's not the only reason, But that's why I say poachers and people and whatever, they scare me the most.
Oh yeah,
They scare me the most out there.
it's the people. I know it's definitely the people that we have to really watch out for, and the lab monkey. What if there's like a community of lab monkeys out there in the middle of the national forest too? I don't know. Maybe that's where they go and escape to. I'm just kidding. Oh man. But yes, just have a game plan. Here's the takeaway, y'all. Have a game plan in case there is something that happens, and you do need
Absolutely.
to you know, I say bug out bags, okay? Because I have my
Yeah.
son and I both have bug out bags just in
Yeah.
case. I mean, always keep your gas tank on full if you can, okay? Just in case you need to get out of Dodge, especially if you live in a big city. Now, here's the thing too, and we're talking about in terms of a zombie apocalypse, but this can be any kind of disaster. Okay, we had some people in the chat. Someone in the chat. Let's see if I starred that. Was saying, well, Kathleen. Actually, thank you, Kathleen. A lot of us don't have the storage capacity to keep weeks worth of food and water. I'm sure those of us who live in large cities would not survive that well in a zombie epidemic. And
Absolutely.
and that's true. Okay, if you don't have a lot of space, but there are ways to maybe get around that. I don't know. I'm not. We need to get these disaster prep books, okay? Because there are solutions to every problem in some way, okay?
No, like
And it
but
might.
those, yeah, but
Mhm.
this is what we see. Like even in like I think Walking Dead, the show starts up in Atlanta. That's not that big of a city. We think it is,
Pretty
but
big
it's not.
city.
And
Well,
well, you know what I mean. But it's
it's not New
gridlock.
York.
It's straight gridlock. I mean, you're not getting out of there. If you live there, you're not getting out. So now what do, right? So that's how like people end up stuck on a rooftop. But you have to work with what you have. And absolutely, I understand space. I do. I understand
Sure.
not having space and stuff because where I live in the suburbs, like we have limited everything, right? So like it's yeah, I'm 60 miles from New York City, but it's a very like the mentality is very similar, right? Like and it's because people live on top of each other in the populated areas. We live on top of each other. It's very very packed in. But like the bug out bag, I have a bug out. It's so here's what I was getting at. I have this like tall closet thing, or whatever you want to say. It's like a plastic storage thing, right? And it has my bug out gear, whatever you want to say, however you want to do it, right? Like, and again, this will depend on what you feel is relevant,
Hmm.
what you want to bring. Fishing
Yeah.
poles, tents. I always say a tarp will come in handy big time.
Emergency blankets,
Yeah, a
ponchos.
hatchet. Yeah, just
Yeah.
have a multi tool. I don't care if it's $5 from Walmart. Have a multi tool, one that has a little knife and a little, whatever, like a Swiss Army knife. But now they
Bottle
have,
opener.
yeah, just little basic, and it might seem redundant, but more is more in this situation, not less is more. Like
Exactly.
have your shit, and then go. But a
Well,
bug out bag, yeah, is a good idea because you literally could just, you know,
here's the thing too. Some of us sometimes, I mean, I have some of my most important gear in those buckets, like with the lid on it that you can get at Walmart or wherever.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
can put the important stuff in there and you keep them by your door in case you need to throw them in the back of your truck or your car and you need to leave quickly. It's my
5
camping
gallon
gear.
Home Depot bucket
Yeah,
is tougher than nails, literally.
exactly.
Trying to, we've I don't that plastic
Yes.
you ever see Breaking Bad, like that rubber plastic bin will you could put like acid in it that will decompose a body
Hey,
and
wait. This is
it'll
for entertainment purposes only.
oh sorry. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. But plastic is
It's
the point I'm
Quentin's.
getting at. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Put your shit in there. Put
It's
your
from
shit
a
in there.
movie reference, y'all. That's why.
It's coitins for you. I don't even know who says that. It's
I don't know
it's
either, but it's funny.
coitins.
It's
Yeah.
Quentin's. Why
Coitins.
I oughta. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's
Sopranos,
coitins.
maybe. Yeah,
That's that's I don't even know what borough that is. Maybe Brooklyn or I don't know. It's coitins.
Quentin's. Oh man. Well, you see, we got to make light of the situation, y'all, because it can feel kind of, kind of icky when you start thinking about having to bug out and take your kids and your pets and everything and get out of
Oh,
town
forget it.
and get out of Dodge. But I mean, it's just stuff. I mean, we're not striving for that timeline where we're going to have to do that, but just be prepared just in case. Okay.
Yeah. It's
just in case.
scary. Yeah. It's shitty because you have to, it's really not something people that like to think about because you have to literally, you have to like pick and choose what you're going to take and what, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it literally comes down to necessities.
it
And a
does.
lot of people have never been in a situation like that, you know?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I know guys who go out for weeks at a time up in, up in the mountains, and they go out with a like a bug out bag, and they survive. They bushcraft a little place and all that crap, right? And they go out there for weeks at a time. I don't know how they do it. Like, but they do it. It's for fun, kind of, but
Mhm.
at the same time, it's so like it comforts them into knowing like, oh, I can do it. I can do
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh, we actually some of the guys, I have not done it yet, but we've talked about doing it, going out because we just don't have time. Time is the big thing.
Yeah,
But some of the guys have gone out for days on end, just living with one tool on their
yeah,
body, and that's like one knife or whatever, and maybe like whatever they had on their body was what they lived off on. It was living off the land, surviving, making debris huts, and eating the berries and whatever's on the land and the animals. And it's just like that show. Is it Alone? Alone is a good one.
yeah,
There's
yeah. It said,
there's
yeah,
there's different shows that it shows you how tough you can be, and how almost like
exactly,
MacGyver you have to become, like, to get
exactly.
inventive, to have solutions to all your problems out there with just whatever you got on your back, basically. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because
I love this stuff.
those people are experts in certain scenarios. But then you get put in an environment. I think one of them was Labrador, and like the environment sucked. Like it was like really wet, and like you know what I mean. Like nobody could get fire started. Stuff like that. And I don't know. It's insanity. I mean, it's crazy. But you got to do certain things. Like I mean, shit. I don't know. Whatever. We can't. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse because I don't know. Sometimes when we have these wide open topic shows, I go on tangents, so I apologize. But let's just
It's okay. Well, you know what? I really wanted you to talk to you about this today because you have the survival experience with being in the military, and you've spent time overseas and stuff. So I
yeah,
thought it was a good topic for today, from the
yeah,
survivalist aspect of an apocalypse situation.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yes.
it's nothing that anybody wants to see, but
Yes.
yeah,
Somebody had just said, don't forget your socks and underwear. Thank you, Brandon. Yes. Don't forget lots of socks and underwear, but don't load your bag down with just socks and underwear. Okay. That kind of that makes me think of like my son. When my son, I'd tell him to get his bag packed. We're going on a trip, we're going camping, and he would get his little bag, his suitcase, backpack or whatever, and I'd open it up and it was just all underwear or all socks. He's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
kid. So, yeah. So make room for other stuff, not just socks and underwear. Okay.
yeah. I
uh,
mean, I've even done like
bring a couple of pair.
I used to do a training in Korea called drown proofing, and there was like a certain number of things you had to do to pass. Like you had to do like 7 out of the 10 or whatever it was, and I was very good at swimming, so I was just. They used to send me all the time because they needed numbers, So I did it a couple times, but it would be like a mock helicopter that you'd have to jump out of and like do this and that. But anyway, so you'd be surprised how much like a 7-pound rifle starts to weigh in the water. But here's the point: is you start to learn what these certain things can be used as in survival situations, right? So like your boots become heavy and work against you, right? So you want to get those off, but you don't want to lose them for when you hit land. So you tie them together in the middle and you put it around you put it wherever, like, and then you take your pants off and you tie the bottom of your pants like closed, right? and then you take your waistband and go like this over the top of the water, wouldn't get the air in there, and then it becomes an inflation device. And then you can, once it's inflated, you tie it up, and then you can take your, your legs and tie it around your neck, and now you have a flotation device made from just your pants, right? So,
yeah.
unless
unless you're naked and afraid. Okay, you don't have pants. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Night Drive. Yeah, that would be actually the worst thing ever, to be in a zombie apocalypse naked and not having any clothes, having to fight off zombies and survive off the land.
Well, I don't know.
They should do a TV show called that, Naked and Afraid Zombie Apocalypse.
In the shape I'm in today, like I would just be like, come get me. Like, I'm not in the mood for this shit.
I'm done.
Yeah, just do it. But yeah, other days I'm more motivated. I guess I'd have to get back in that readiness mode. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I tell you what.
I got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah. Well, here. Let's look at this real quick, because there is this one. Okay, we talked about feral people a while ago, and I have this one video. Okay, and I'm going to pull it up on I don't know if my this will even pull up. Okay, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a good shot, but my internet is so bad today, y'all, from the weather, or I don't know what it is. So we're going to pull up my TikTok if it'll come up. And I'm going to show you guys a film of a man. Now, this is something I think that I had remote viewed this a long time ago. And this is a suspected skinwalker. Okay. And, okay, here we go. All right. It's coming. If I can just get it all to come up. Okay. We showed the owl. By the way, I did have that owl that was in that tree. I put it all over social media after the show on Monday. Is the man, if y'all want to see this, oh shoot, let me see. Let me get my favorites. I'm not going to show that because my computer will crash if I try to show y'all all this stuff right now. Considering the internet so bad, look how slow it is. It's so slow.
What's it on?
Let's see. Here it is. Okay, we're going to pull this one up. I'm going to not have the volume up on this, but this is on Cryptic, okay, on their TikTok channel. This is that video of that zombie that's like a feral guy. Now, either he could be on drugs, if you know what I mean. Okay, it could be that. He could have had an all-nighter and he's been drinking moonshine. I don't know. But this is one of the creepier videos right here. And if you could hear this man grunting and stuff, I mean, this is wild. So this is that one video that actually looks like a real zombie. Okay, and I got to tell y'all something. I had a friend of mine who sent me this video one day, and he said, "Hey," and he's one of my trusted inside friends. This is for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, C. Duke. But he was telling me, now this is what he said to me. I don't know the validity of this, but I do trust this guy. He said that this was from a training video with law enforcement, and that was an actual zombie. And they took him out after this video. That's what I heard. Okay. But now I don't know for sure. This is for entertainment purposes only, but that's what I was told about this video right here. Okay. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, look, a lot of us go camping that are watching this show right now. A lot of us. I see a lot of field researchers in the chat right now. And what would y'all do if you encountered this out in the woods? Yeah. What would you do, Mike, if you encountered a person like this out in the woods?
Sorry, I think thunder just hit, scared the crap out of me.
Do I have you?
I don't know.
Today?
It's hard to see, but from what I can see, that's kind of like similar to that first time I encountered that pale thing, and like the way it's moving all slow and like sketchy and shit. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of this at all, really. Like I would not. I don't carry, right? Like, and that's just a personal thing. I'm starting to lean the other way. You know what I'm saying? I'm really starting to lean the other way into being a carrier, but most of it is New York. Like, some of it was personal reasons at the beginning, but like now it's more a New York thing. There's a lot of laws, and it's not really. It's kind of like the Army. They take the fun out of everything, right? You know. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's interesting. There was another one I saw where there was something up in a tree that was pale, and it kind of looked like. Remember Alien and Predator? Like it kind of looked like a mix between like a pale crawler and the alien thing, and it
Yeah.
I don't know, really sketchy shit. Really
Oh yeah.
sketchy.
Oh yeah. We showed that video on Monday with Barry. We had that thing. It was yeah, it was a video. It looked like this thing. It moved really quickly, and I had it on my
Oh, maybe
TikTok. I could have pulled that
maybe
up.
that's
I think
maybe
it's the
I
same
saw
one
it
you're
on.
talking about.
Yeah,
Was it the
maybe
one
that's
that was
where I saw it
near
on
Skinwalker
your.
Ranch?
Yeah, I saw.
Yes.
It must have been your short then that I was watching. That must be
Yes.
it. Okay. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, I gotta get something from outside because if
Okay.
it's raining, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yes. Well, I don't know. What would you guys do in that situation, right? If you Bigfoot dwarf, I hope you don't ever run into a fellow like that out in the woods. He said there are people walking on the street here now that look like that guy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, you know what? And that's another thing. Like we need to think about. Okay, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been. Let me mute Mike real quick. You know, I have seen that unfortunately, there's a lot of upset right now online with people who are currently receiving, and you know, there's a lot of people who are on like food assistance here in the United States. And it's like SNAP benefits and things like that. And a lot of people that really truly need to have those, you know, that have children and families and stuff. And there's some people that have gone online and they've been voicing their concern over this, like that their benefits are going to be cut as of well, like about 3 days from now, something like that. And so they're upset, saying they're planning to go rob grocery stores, and this is for entertainment purposes only, y'all. But go rob grocery stores and rob people out in the parking lots, these grocery stores and stuff. So look, uh, I feel for a lot of these people, right? I feel for them. But it's just I'm only bringing this up because we need to be aware of things that are going on, and how desperate people will get when the credit cards don't work anymore. Okay, when the credit cards don't work, when the you know the internet goes down, or for whatever reason, people are threatened with not having what they're used to having. That's when I'm not going to say a zombie apocalypse will happen, but it's going to be something similar. It could potentially be so. So just be careful. I want to say love your neighbors. Here's the thing about loving your neighbors. You don't gotta love your neighbors. I don't love all my neighbors. Okay, never have. But it's good to know your neighbors. Okay, and to have a game plan. Know who you can trust and who you can go to, because sometimes in a situation where you're by yourself and you do live in a big city, like Kathleen in the chat, you know, you live in a big city, you don't have a lot of space. You know, you might live in an apartment building or something like that. Know your neighbors, get to know your neighbors, have a game plan as far as your communities go. Okay. And always good. My last house I lived in a cul-de-sac. Okay. And all the neighbors, I think we were all pretty much prepared to take care of each other in case of an emergency. And we did have some emergencies out there. And so I implore all of you to come up with a game plan just in case. Okay. And we're going to put the zombie apocalypse, you know, title on this, because just like the CDC did, they gave the zombie apocalypse preparedness plan. Well, let's have our own. Okay. Have your own zombie preparedness plan just in case, because that can pertain to a lot of things, right, Mike?
Absolutely, yeah. See, Montauk is one of those places that I would go to in the event of anything. You know, you've been there, so you understand it. It's very small as far as land goes. There's water on all sides. There's big, strong, buildings that you can take up in. You know, things that affect. Um, we actually, I took my son out there for in the nor'easter, and I didn't know there was a nor'easter coming, but I'm like, oh, screw it, whatever. I already booked. Let's go. And on the way out, everybody's leaving. You know, everyone's evacuating out, and we left the last day of the nor'easter, and there were trees down. I mean, the Pine Barrens, like it's in the Pine Barrens, so like for probably 25 miles, there was just, luckily we timed it perfectly where we had hit, we were probably a few hours behind the trucks that cut up all the trees that came down. But probably every 100 feet there was a tree across the road, and for nobody who's if you've never seen the Pine Barrens, I mean, it's I don't know
Saw
how to
pine
explain.
trees.
Yeah, it's just
Bunch of pine
insanity.
trees.
Yeah, and some of them are really strong, but for whatever reason, the ones near the road are like all widow makers, and I don't know, just weird. Probably
Oh
due to human pollution and crap like that, but
yeah. Oh man. Well, okay. Skip, thank you so much. Says cool show. Thank you for that super sticker. That is so sweet of you. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you.
thank
Yeah, just let's have a game plan, everybody. Okay, have a game plan, just in case we do have some sort of we've already got weird stuff happening all the time, every day, but now we got this 3-eye atlas thing. They've got us like a deadline to like when things are gonna start happening with that, and I don't know. I'm still just over here lollygagging around having a good time, and and I'm not, I'm prepared, but like I'm not focusing my fear into that, and I don't want y'all to either. Okay, we should not.
Yeah, no, like I don't want to go down religious rabbit holes either, but have your have your faith on lock and all those things, like whatever that may be. Um, I come from a world of sobriety, and there's like this thing in these in the rooms, they call them NAA, whatever. I'm not a big fan of the whole like things that they do, but there's one thing that they say is like put your faith in a higher power or whatever. And I always wondered, I'm like, and they'd be like, it doesn't matter what your higher power is, if it's a doorknob or this or that. I'd be like, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But why wouldn't you put your faith in the highest power? You know what I mean? That you know of. But
Yeah.
again, I don't want to go into those rabbit holes, but because I try to always stay away from religious and politics and stuff, because they can just be,
it can be polarizing with people, I know, but it is a good time to get right with God. Okay. And just to find, have hope and faith. How about that? Have hope and faith. And just like what Dr. Ram, I was going to say Dr. Ram, he got mad at me. It's Dr. Ram. Dr. Ram, he wasn't mad, but anyways, Dr. Ram said, there's always hope. Things will always get better. Okay. Things will always, no matter how bad things get, things will get better one day. It'll be eventually one day. And thank you, Julie. Julie has a wonderful point. Okay, and this is a great takeaway as well. In case people didn't already know, this whole preparedness thing for emergencies should remind people we don't want to be dependent on the government for food or anything else. And that's true. We want to strive to try to take care of ourselves and to be independent and to be sovereign and take care of ourselves. But we don't all have gardens and stuff and land to grow things on. But we can trade and barter and all that kind of stuff in a case of an emergency. Just you got to have an open mind about everything, y'all. And be willing to work with people sometimes and protect yourselves and your families. Okay. And that's where the whole concept of community is so important. And if you want to go back and watch the Walking Dead series, they actually have it pretty right, I think, where they kind of have to band together. They got lone wolves that can survive on their own, and that's great. But being together with people you can trust, it makes you stronger.
Oh yeah, I mean, just think to yourself in these situations. Like if you're in a scenario where you need somebody, you're gonna need somebody who has a boat, right, or a plane or whatever. Think about what you can do to barter that situation to get yourself in that situation where they will be willing to take you on that small plane or limited ship. Of whatever the case may be. Think about what you can bring to the table that will allow you to. And right, like you said, a lone wolf situation is great, but there's nothing better than a team. I mean, there's a reason why, the military doesn't send out, or these government, they don't send out like James Bonds and Jason Bournes. Like, I mean, You know, like they send out teams, whether it's 2, 3, 5, 7, or thousands. You know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We've got some wonderful comments in the chat and stuff. I know we're all going to be okay, everybody. We're going to be all right. Okay. We're going to be okay. And I think that it is important that we do talk about these topics, even if it is in the form of a zombie apocalypse. And because I think that it does pertain. I think the CDC had it right back in the day when they put out that training manual or whatever that was for the zombie apocalypse. Preparedness, like a disaster preparedness plan or something. You know, watch these shows. You know, with all the soft disclosure in it. I mean, there's a lot of zombie movies too out there, and I mean, I've got here. I just found this is like Netflix. You guys watch Netflix. I'm not saying y'all need to go get. I'm not saying go get Netflix. I actually got rid of my subscription. Okay, so we don't have that at my house anymore. But lots of movies about the Walking Dead. Now they don't actually say zombies. Okay, Mike, that is really interesting, right? And by the way, y'all, I'm not trying to drop names or I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I am friends with a real zombie. Okay, my friend Sonia Thompson is one of the original zombies in The Walking Dead. Shout out to Sonia. She's awesome. We do a lot of events together, and she does a lot of Comic-Cons and Bigfoot conferences with me. So shout out to Sonia from The Walking Dead. Okay, but yeah, it's
yeah, they call them walkers, and they have a lot of different names for them. But yeah, they never do say zombie. Yeah.
They never say zombie. I'm going to try to share my screen one more time before we go today. I know I'm about to have to head on out of here. But I do have the origin of zombies, actually. So they've been around for a long time. According to history.com, the ancient Greeks may have been the first civilization terrorized by a fear of the undead. Of course, the zombie folklore has been around for centuries. I don't know if y'all can see this. I guess you can. But in Haiti, it might have originated around the 17th century when West African slaves were brought into work on Haiti's sugar cane plantations, and brutal conditions left them longing for freedom. And according to some reports, the life, or rather afterlife, of a zombie represented the horrific plight of slavery. And of course, zombies are a part of voodoo. Okay, and if you guys want to do some more research on that, please do. Of course, I don't really have time to get into this today. I meant to save a little time at the end of the show today to talk about the history of zombies. But you will notice, I think it's a good thing to take note of that they don't use the word zombie in a lot of these TV shows and stuff, because it is something that has to deal with. I don't know if it's because of the Haitian background of it or what. So it's the undead, I believe. The undead is more of what they call themselves. Okay. So anyways, this has been a really interesting show today, Mike. And I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Sure. You say you got rid of Netflix, and I was just about to say the last season of Stranger Things is coming out this month. November 26th it comes out.
Dang,
So
I'm gonna have to resubscribe.
No, it's all right. I mean, I don't.
For that.
You never really got into it, I think you said, right? You never really were like, but I love that show. Like, I watch it all the time. But to me, I love it because it's here. It's where I live. You know what I mean? Like, Hawkins National Labs is Brookhaven National Labs, which is literally, you know what I mean? And then everything that happens in Montauk, like, it's all here, you know? So it's everything that I research in person, you know what I'm saying? And then for like a TV show to pop up about it is really cool to me. So I enjoy it. But
do you think that you're safer being around all that up there, or less safe if it were to come to a zombie apocalypse? You being right there at Montauk and Plum Island. What do you think?
Yeah, it's it could go either way, I think. Could go either way. I don't want to say too much on that, but yeah, that's a deep rooted. That's a deep rooted answer, yeah. But
oh yeah, hey Gary. Oh man, yeah. Well, nonetheless, I know that you are prepared. I'm prepared. I mean, we're not ever truly fully prepared for anything to go down, I think, but as prepared as we can be for a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I can't say too much. There's somewhere else here too now. There's a few, and I guarantee you guys have them near where you live. I say this all the time. We're for whatever reason here on Long Island, they're very just open about it, and nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care that this stuff is going on right here. But I mean, I'm sure it's you have a lab or whatever it is doing weird stuff, research by your house.
Yeah. Well, I live not too far from the CDC in Atlanta, you know,
Atlanta is a whole city of, yeah.
Man. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't live so close. I don't live in downtown Atlanta anymore, but I did for 20 years. I live downtown, and the CDC is actually not downtown. It's actually more, I think it's in like Decatur, maybe. I can't remember. I never went there, but I used to pass it off like, I want to say it's like on Beaufort Highway or something. I can't remember. I don't remember, but it's somewhere there. And I know that on The Walking Dead, they were always trying, the first season, especially, they were trying to get to the CDC, right? In Atlanta.
Yeah, Terminus. I watched. There's a Terminus, I think, is one of them too.
Well, Terminus was the name of Atlanta before it was Atlanta. That's the original name of Atlanta.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but yeah, the CDC they kept trying to get to, and it ended up anyway. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Mike, tell everybody where they can find you if they like to check out your YouTube channel.
Well, if you'd like to, it's Long Island Bigfoot on YouTube. That's pretty. I'm debating on changing to another title, but for now, that's where we're at. And if you want to come by, check it out. I appreciate it. Any support and all support is appreciated.
Absolutely, y'all go over there and subscribe to Long Island Bigfoot on YouTube for sure. And thank you so much for being here today, Mike. Anytime. It's always fun having you here.
Anytime.
It is. I just saw this comment. I want to pull this up real quick because I thought this was kind of interesting. Before we go, see if I can. Here it is. Talking about Kathleen said, if it's true Walking Dead are attracted by sound, it's better to have sharp weapons than firearms. Okay. I was just thinking, I know this is like not the same thing here, but like, infrasound and stuff. I wonder if infrasound weapons would work on zombies as well. When it came to actual zombies, I bet they would. I bet it would. It would disable them. Maybe we should get our hands on some Medusa tech. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, hopefully there are no zombies. And if there are, I hope they're not like the 28-day later zombies. Remember how fast those things moved? Hopefully they won't be like that. Stock up on ammo, y'all. And sharp, pointy things. All right.
Yeah, 28. What my favorite one?
Later.
Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of the vampire one. 28 days.
The Legion movie too. That they've got some crazy looking people as well. Those are kind of like demon zombies.
28 Days a Night was the vampires. That one was so good. That one was good. But anyway.
Oh, well. Okay, y'all. Well, this has been wonderful. I've had a really great time today talking with everybody and talking with Mike. Thank you, Mike. Y'all come back and see me tomorrow night. I have Jimmy Payne coming on. We're going to be hearing about his experience with werewolves at Area 51 tomorrow night. It's going to knock your socks off. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. It's always an interesting show with Jimmy here, and we're going to probably have James Rink here as well. I'm going to give him a holler today and see if he'll join us too. So you guys, please have a very safe Halloween this weekend. And please come back and see me tomorrow night. And on Saturday, I'll be back as well. And y'all go subscribe over at Long Island Bigfoot. Remember, I do have all of my podcasts are on all podcasting platforms. If you guys want to go check me out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasting, programs and stuff, y'all, whatever they're called, y'all go find me. I'm all over the place. And thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much to everybody who gave the super stickers today, to Skip and to Terry as well. Thank y'all so much. And I'll see y'all back here on tomorrow night. And please stay safe and get your bug out bags, y'all, and your medical packs and everything else just in case. All right. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. Bye, y'all.